Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Nasarawa lawmakers vow to remove Governor Tanko Al-Makura. Lagos governor meets tank farm owners in Apapa, insists the area must be decongested. Residents of Kubwa community in Abuja lament indiscriminate refuse dumping. And Gaza suffers huge death toll from Israel as 87 people are killed in today's rocket and ground attacks. A reminder here that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. But do visit m.channelstv.com so you can view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We urge you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS, and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. The controversy surrounding the appointment of a chief judge in Rivers State has continued to swell. A battle had been long drawn since July 2013. Judiciary workers in the state now stand between the strike occasioned by the crisis on the one hand and the industrial action called by the national body of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria on another.
Justice Peter Agumagu taking his oath of office as the Chief Judge of Rivers State at the Government House. Since then, the office of the Chief Judge and indeed the entire judiciary unit in the state has known no peace. Greeted by protests and arguments, the controversy rages on to whether Justice Agumagu, who is the most senior judge of the customary court, should be the substantive chief judge of the state.
The Federal High Court ruled that the governor was entitled to reject NJC's recommendation for appointment of Justice Okocha, a recommendation which was made in July of last year. The same day the judgment was delivered, the same day we heard that the House of Assembly had confirmed Justice Agumagu as the chief judge, the same day the governor swore him in.
Those who want to bring anarchy to Rivers State should watch out. What they start will end with them. There is no basis for this kind of action. There is no provision in our constitution for the NJC to stay in Abuja and appoint a chief judge through the back door. It will not work.
At a press briefing, the Rivers State Police Commissioner demands more clarification as to the particular concerns of the striking workers.
What we are saying in essence is that we should make it clear. We should tell the public that there are no security concerns anymore because we have been able to cover all these areas adequately.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Okewali, describes the situation in Rivers Judiciary as worrisome.
It's already criticizing for us. That was the height of what was going on. Carrying violence in the court premises. For many, when they see just the violence of destruction of property, destruction of court buildings, there's something that's being destroyed and can never be rebuilt. You can rebuild a court hall, you can rebuild the furniture, but you can't rebuild the records that have been destroyed.
As the issues go on unresolved in the state and the national body of judiciary workers continue the strike, the court premises in Rivers may remain under lock and key for a long time.
Meanwhile, senior advocate of Nigeria and rights activist Femi Falana has faulted the conduct of elections of the Nigerian Bar Association. In an exclusive interview with our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shiele, Mr. Falana alleges that there was exchange of monies for votes and widespread electoral malpractice in the conduct of the polls. Mr. Falana, however, says something drastic must be done to redeem the association's image.
among the main contenders for the post of the presidency of the bar, not less than 1 billion naira was spent.
1 billion naira?
Yes, not less.
Not less.
I even understand that a candidate spent between 500 and 700 million naira. From the information at my disposal, certain people want to make a point that this mess cannot continue. It's a monumental mess. And we cannot pretend that lawyers are interested in having credible elections in the country. We even send observer teams to monitor elections conducted by the INEC. If our own elections are fraudulent and are manipulated through a corrupt process, we have no moral right to go around pretending that we are prosecuting election petitions from the High Court to the Supreme Court. I mean, from the election petition tribunals to the Supreme. And that's something drastic has to be done. For instance, until recently, candidates contesting election, when traveling around the country, going from one branch to the other, donating money, because every branch is either launching a journal or building a secretariat or something. And each of the candidates is expected to donate money. You're talking for 109 branches. I do hope if the Nigerian Bar Association is going to have its glory restored, something drastic has to be done.
Conveners of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign have asked the federal government to plug every hole in the fight against the Boko Haram menace in the country. The campaigners who set out again in Abuja say the federal government might not be doing enough to secure the release of the Chibok schoolgirls despite international collaboration 3 months after their abduction. They say instead of a united and purposeful search for the girls, some people have resorted to branding the campaign as a scam, belittling the emotions of the affected parents.
Once these people can take over a community, they can take over the state, one community at a time. If they can take over a state, it means they can move to another state. So we really need to think deeply and do something as urgently as possible. We feel very terrible that lives are being lost, despite the fact that there is a lot of attention on Borno State, not just Chibok right now. Bring Back Our Girls campaign has attracted a lot of attention. The international support that we have garnered are all focusing right now on Borno State and Chibok. Yet these people are still able to perpetrate this kind of evil. It sends a message that there are holes that still needs to be blocked, and we are calling on the relevant authorities to please do the needful.
It's a community that has had to bear all manner of attacks also. People actually questioning the incident. They have had to listen to people call their pain a scam. I see them and, you know, it just breaks you. It breaks you when you saw that gentleman. He's a PhD, he's a seasoned professional. He just broke down crying because, you know, I think it's really a community that is an example of what is wrong with our society.
We're staying with security matters. About 100 more people have been killed in a second deadly assault on Damboa town in Borno State less than 24 hours after gunmen raided the area. Eyewitnesses say the insurgents successfully overran the town, which is just about 90 kilometers from the capital, the state's capital, Maiduguri, where there are reports that the terrorists hoisted their black and white flag. Survivors of the earlier attack, which took place on Friday, were trying to bury their dead when the insurgents fired rockets, propelled grenades and homemade bombs into homes and shooting those who tried to escape. Most of the buildings were set ablaze, forcing residents to flee to neighboring villages for safety. Pensioners in Kogi State appear to be receiving more attention now from the state government with the payment of outstanding gratuity for civil servants who retired recently. A sum of 300 million naira has been released for the purpose, and the governor himself, Captain Idris Wada, personally presented the checks to the senior citizens.
The conference hall of the Kogi State Secretariat played host to some senior citizens who have served the state meritoriously and retired from active service from 1991, 1992 and 1994. The state government, through the Bureau of State Government Pension, flagged off full payment of their retirement benefits. The arrival of the executive governor of the state, Captain Idris Wada, kicked off the occasion with the chairman of the Kogi State Union of Pensioners, Mr. Ono Abdullahi, noting that the new structure will help reduce the sufferings of pensioners.
It will interest you to note that the policy of your government, that while you are taking your last salary in the ministries, agencies and parastatals of state government where you work, the following month you are automatically placed to collect your monthly pension. But in the local government sector, many of our retirees are dying, waiting for 18 months, 12 months for placement. We appeal to you to direct the Ministry for Local Government and Civil Affairs to increase the allocation to bureau of local government pension for the purpose of gratuity part payment.
The high point of the occasion was the presentation of checks to some of the beneficiaries.
Lawrence Ajimzo, and his gratuity is 351,064 naira 58 kobo.
This is certainly the way to go, and the governor of the state is hopeful that every sector of the state's economy will witness the same transformation.
I want to appeal to all of you to believe, to the best of my ability as governor of the state, I try to run a transparent, a sincere, a government that preaches and tries to apply justice, equity and fairness in everything that we do. And for that to succeed, all of you must believe that as citizens of Kogi State, we must try as much as we can to be fair to each other. We must try to be just in everything that we do, and we must try and ensure equity.
With this new development by the state government, it means that pensioners will not start reaping the fruit of their labor.
Well, refuse is a form of waste generated by humans all the time. However, its disposal is crucial to maintaining the health and well-being of people. For the people of Kubwa, a satellite town of the federal capital, the dumping of refuse in their community, with the alleged consent of the Buari Area Council Authority, poses serious health and security risks. They're demanding that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory intervenes in the matter. Our community report tonight examines the concerns of the indigents.
Tisala, now you're talking.
This is a regular activity at this dump site. These cart pushers and waste collectors, popularly known as Bola Boys, collect the refuse inside Kubwa, a satellite town in the nation's capital, and subsequently dump it here. A first look at this place, one will conclude that it is a designated refuse dump site. However, residents of PW community in Kubwa say it is a residential area that has been turned to a refuse dump, causing serious health risk to the residents.
The funniest thing is that whenever they come to park their refuse, they push it down to the residents. Instead of parking it, they push it down, and now this place has become a dumping ground. And it's not good for our health. It's not really good for our health at all. So if we don't mind, if they can assist us.
Beside the health risks which they complained of, insecurity also poses a major challenge to the residents. Residents say they have written several letters to the Buhari Area Council to intervene, but without any response.
Everybody knows the security situation in the country. If you look around, you see what is happening here. This place in the night, once it's dark, 6:37, you can't pass here because you'll be robbed. Then in the afternoon, if not because of the rains, this place, they would have filled this place smoking. They sell Indian hemp here as we are standing here. They are selling Indian hemp. You will see them under this mango tree, this big one. Then there's this smaller one there. You will see them under that. But this place, they have turned it to their house, this house here. So this place is, apart from the health problem, the security problem is there too. And we are pleading that people should help us. We are not fighting with anybody. We are not fighting with Buhari. We are not fighting with Abuja Environmental Protection Board. But they should come to our rescue.
We have tried our possible best, and it's like the people in our charity knows about what is happening here. If not so, we have done all what we can do by writing letters, by petition and everything, but all of them fall abortive.
We asked some of the waste collectors, popularly known as Bola Boys, on why they dump their refuse at this site, and they say they are authorized by the government to dispose the refuse.
Gwamnati ne suka ba mu wajen mu ringa zubawa.
Kuna biyan su ko?
A'a, ba mu biyan su, suna zuwa inda ta taru sai su kwashe.
Mu dai ba kin ga wani wannan gurin kuma jama'a tana zuba ko amma kuma gwamnati tana turo da motoci suna kwashe a wajen.
At the Buhari Area Council, which is in charge of Kubwa Satellite Town, the Director of Environment explained that contrary to the claims of the residents, the area in the Abuja Master Plan is a green area which has now been designated as a refuse collection point. He says residential buildings are not supposed to be within the area.
If you go through the master plan, in front of that place is a green area. If I wanted to, what the aim of that place is to beautify the streets. It's not a residential area. When we are looking for a place, we found that Kubwa is almost congested. We have no any space. And we cannot say because we have no space, people will not create waste. Waste is something that we must create. We have no anything to do about it. So we now have to apply to the whole matter that in fact we have gone around. The initial structure was we have collection, we have green area which has been converted to residentials inside Kubwa.
Both parties have taken their case to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Residents now await a quick decision by the authority on the issue.
Now you're talking.
When the news at 10 returns, remembering late South African President Nelson Mandela. Please join us again.